We're Eric and Brittany Highland from Jeepsies, and we are getting ready to drive around the world. But before we get into that, we want to give you a tour of our Jeep Wrangler.
This is our North American Jeep build for overlanding, and there's lots of cool stuff on it. We call him Guardian. Where do we start? He's a 2014 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, and he's outfitted for our type of travel. We're on a 2.5-inch rock crawler lift with 35 series tires, stock wheels, no big deal on there. We've got an AEV snorkel. It's not just for underwater crossing, it actually helps with dust and keeping cold air into the engine. This is kind of neat. We've got a Cascadia 4x4 solar panel. They call it the VSS system. It provides 100 watts of solar power to our dual battery system, which sits underneath. I can show you that. So you've got a Genesis dual battery system right here, 2 Optima yellow top batteries, and this is the controller for the VSS system from Cascadia. And then we've got a air compressor, a dual ARB air compressor, which we pretty much only use to fill up the tires and any kind of floaties that our 3.5-year-old son wants to take around the lakes or boats. This is a bumper I would definitely not recommend for overlanding. It's great for rock crawling. 1/4-inch steel rock hard 4x4. But there are some good things for overlanding. We've got our Warn Xeon 10S winch, Rigid Industries lights, and again, Cascadia 4x4 makes this flipster, which is great for allowing us to access the winch. So in here, we've got a couple little things that are worth noting. These are the Ace Falcon inner fender flares with the Falcon 3.3 shocks by TerraFlex. These are fully adjustable, so we can adjust the suspension ride using these shocks, and then these springs are updated both front and rear with the TerraFlex Outback coil springs. These badges are only for Jeepers, but if you have a Jeep, there are, I think, about 47 Jeep Badge of Honor trails around the nation. And if you actually complete the trail, the app is free and the badge is free. They just send it to you. So it's kind of cool. Download the app if you're a Jeeper.
So this is our iCamper Skycamp rooftop tent. First, we chose it for size. We're a family of 3, and it's actually a king-size bed. This is a really good tent for a family. We have a ton of room up here. We keep our bags up here and our sleeping bags. And another big reason that we chose this is because we have a toddler. He was 2 years old when we started overlanding. And this iCamper, it deploys in 45 seconds and it stows in 1.5 minutes. So we've come into camp before when it's already dark and we're just trying to get the kid to bed, and we literally just pop it and we're ready to go. The bedding stays in here, so we don't even have to move up the bedding.
All right, so this is a really cool piece of gear. It's called the Goal Zero Mini Lantern. And what I really like about it, it's just completely functional. So it also has little legs, so you can stand it up on something. You can also charge your phone off the thing. And if that weren't enough, you can also stick it on the side of any vehicle. It's magnetic on the bottom.
Welcome to our version of the Taj Mahal. We were just talking about the quality of life, your outdoor living space, and for us, this is part of our lifestyle quality when we're overlanding, is having a place to escape from the cold, the rain, which is really relevant right now, and even the sun.
Yeah, so this is the Rhino-Rack Batwing awning. With the tapered extensions, but these are actually brand new from Rhino-Rack, these tapered extensions that have these openings. I'm not even sure if they're available yet. I think they are, but we actually have 4 of them. So come on in and check it out. You can see how much space we have in here. Yesterday here at the Rooftop Tent Rally at James River State Park, it was raining off and on. And so we would come out, lower the flaps, and be protected from the elements. And then when the sun came out, we had a beautiful rainbow yesterday. We were able to put it up and enjoy that. Go for it. So. All right, one of the things that a lot of people don't consider is what happens if you have an accident in your vehicle when you are miles and miles away from the nearest village or town. And so we have constructed what we call a bug out bag. And this bag actually contains everything my family needs to survive for 72 hours out in the wilderness. It contains saws and axes and thermal blankets, first aid kit, rescue gear, whistles. We would carry our Garmin InReach Explorer Plus in here, gloves, shelter making tools, practically everything you can think of in order to survive. We have a way to purify water. Everything is in this bag. So the idea being, if you rolled your vehicle and you made your rooftop tent or your habitat useless for your family, you'd be able to grab this bag and create what you needed to create long enough for a rescue squad to come out and help you out. So one of our most used pieces of gear is this Blue Ridge Overland Gear extra large tire bag. We use it all the time, but not only do we use it for trash, which is really interesting here, don't come stealing my stuff. Underneath our trash, we actually keep our fluids. I've got coolant.
That's not leaking coolant.
No, that's not coolant, it's water. But I've got WD-40, I got brake fluid.
It's like Santa's bag at Christmas, basically.
It never ends, it's just a bottomless bag. Although once we did have our bag stolen. We had our trash bag stolen. Somebody actually came up and cut these and stole our bag, but Blue Ridge Overland Gear sent us a brand new one. So thank you, Blue Ridge.
So we have our ARB 50-quart fridge, and this was made by a friend. This is where we keep all of our kitchen gear. What I use for my stove is this jet boil, and it's a 2-burner system, but it collapses like a clamshell, and it nests with the pan, and it's just, again, super lightweight and really compact. I hope you see a theme here, because this is what we look for in every single thing that we buy, is how heavy is it and what is the stowing space.
This Lifesaver is a very important piece of equipment to us as we're preparing to drive around the world. This Lifesaver actually filters out viruses and bacteria. There's a filter that goes in here, and it'll filter out, I want to say, somewhere around 51,000 gallons of water over the course of its lifetime. So it's kind of like one of those little life straws on steroids. You could literally fill it up in a river or a lake, and then once you fill it up, you just open this up, you pump it through, and you build pressure in here, and it forces it through the filter and then out of the spigot. Welcome to the cab. We do a lot of travel. We spend a lot of time up here, so we try and keep it as simple, as functional as possible. Well, right now, Guardian is our Jeep is not kitted out fully like we would for an international trip. Normally we'd have a Garmin InReach Explorer Plus, additional navigation devices and whatnot. But for North America, we keep it pretty clean. We have the Midland MXT 400 40-watt GMRS radio, which is fantastic. And we use this to communicate back and forth. We also have the Midland GXT 1000s, which we keep to trail spot or talk to one another when we go on hikes and whatnot. We keep that all right here in our Visor organizer by Blue Ridge Overland Gear, which you can see has all kinds of stuff. It's got a tire gauge, a knife, a bunch of pens, even some chapstick, and this little secret squirrel compartment. I won't tell you what's in there.
This is legit so important for my sanity. There are things that you can do to make it easier on yourself, and I know there are a lot of moms and wives out there who aren't sure that they're really into it. Well, this is something that's super lightweight and super compact, and it keeps my tent clean and my vehicle clean, and I love it. And I will take it with me around the world.
So as you can see, we have a few pieces of Blue Ridge Overland Gear in our Jeep, including that visor that I showed you, and also this back seat panel, which we use for everything. So we've got little Molle containers in here. I've got my tape measure, my fire extinguisher, all kinds of gear right here. And on my own, I kind of jury rigged this little netting up here. I think Blue Ridge Overland Gear calls it an attic, and I've heard a rumor that they might send me one, so we'll see if that happens. But basically, I just bought a little cargo net and strapped a bunch of bungee cords, and I'm stuffing a bunch of stuff up here. It's great. But if there's a better product out there, Blue Ridge, let me know.
Thank you guys so much for joining this walk around of our home on wheels. And you are welcome to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or at Jeepsies. It's a play on the word gypsies. And we have a lot of exciting stuff coming up. Yes. So we are planning our global overlanding trip. Next year, we're planning to go back into Mexico, but this time we won't return to the United States. We'll continue on to Central and South America.
And then we're gonna ship the vehicle to Africa, and we're gonna drive up the west coast of Africa into Europe, and then across the Silk Road to Asia. So if you're interested in following us, we'd love it, and thanks for going on the tour with us.